Welcome back to another Learn Unity tutorial. In our last tutorial, we set things up so that our ships would destroy themselves when they hit the ground, or if they are clicked with the mouse while falling. In this tutorial, we'll make this game a whole lot more fun by adding a point system to keep track of our score. Let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is to create a new script. So I'm going to head down to my assets, right-click, and create a new C# script. I'm going to call this one Point Manager. I'm also going to head up into my hierarchy where I'm going to create a new empty game object. I'm also going to name this one Point Manager. This is simply going to be an empty object that we will put our Point Manager script on so that the script is actually functioning within our scene. To do that, I'm just going to click on Add Component and type in Point Manager. At this point, we can open up the script. We're going to do something a little different this time. We're going to be creating a new variable to keep track of our score. To do that, I'm going to head up here just underneath our class name, and we're going to make a variable. A variable is just a container that holds information within a script, and all variables in Unity are either public or private. This one is going to be a public variable because we want other scripts to be able to talk to it. For example, when a ship is destroyed, we want that ship to be able to change the score. So we're going to create a public script. This one is going to be an integer, which is just a whole number like 123 or -123. And we're going to call this one score. Generally speaking, all variables will have these three parts, whether it's public or private, the type of variable, this one's an integer, and also the name you'll use for the variable within your script. We'll save that then and head back over into Unity. And once you're back in Unity, you can click on the Point Manager, and you'll notice over here in the inspector that there's now a new box for score, which is currently set to 0. We've set up a way to keep track of our score now as we play the game. The next trick is going to be to make it so that when we destroy these ships, our score actually changes. To do that, we'll head back into our destroy script. All right, so what we want to do here is we want to make it so that down in our mouse down function, the one that destroys the game object, if we click on it, we want, before it's destroyed, for it to add a point to our score. To do that, I'm just going to move this down one space, and on the line above, I'm going to make a reference to our Point Manager script, because that's where the score is being kept. I'm going to hit a period next, which allows this script to look inside of Point Manager, and we want it to find the new variable we made called score. We also want it to add 1 to our score. I'll use a semicolon to end that line. One little thing in C#, whenever we want to add numbers, we use plus equals, not just a plus sign. And you may have noticed already that this script is not having my pointmanager.score line. It's got that angry red underline there. The reason for that is because this script does not yet know where to find Point Manager. I've told it that it's out there, but it doesn't know where to look. So to fix that, we're going to head back up to the top underneath our class name. And we're going to create a variable for the Point Manager. So this will give us a chance to link the scripts together. We're going to need to make this public, as the scripts are going to be talking to each other, so we need them to be publicly accessible. And the script type is going to actually be Point Manager. Now here I've just typed in exactly the name of my script, Point Manager with a capital P and M, just like the script up top here. Next, we need to tell this script what name it wants to give to that script. Now this seems a little redundant. Why wouldn't it just be Point Manager? But it's something that we need to do. So I am going to follow the usual naming convention among C# coders, which is to use the name of the script, Point Manager, but with a lowercase at the beginning. I'll put a semicolon to end that line. Now, because I've decided that within this script, I'm going to call Point Manager with a lowercase, I need to come down here and make sure that this one matches. Everything's looking good now. I can save my game and head back over to Unity. So now that I'm in my game, I can look at my ships, and now in the destroy script, you'll notice there's a new line, and the destroy scripts want to know, well, where is the Point Manager? So I'm going to grab my Point Manager and put it in there. And you will need to do this for each of your targets in the game. Now when I press play, I can click on the ships, and if I go to Point Manager, you'll notice that my score, I missed the first one, but I got the second one, and my score has now gone up by 1. Now the bonus level of this is to make this a little more interesting. You've probably noticed that one of my ships falls much slower than the other, and I wonder if maybe I should make the ship that falls faster this one here, which has a gravity scale of exactly 1, I might want to make that one worth more points than my other ship, which has a gravity scale of just 0.5 and falls much slower. So to do this, I'm going to head back into the destroy script once more. You'll notice down here that we have hard-coded the value of 1 into our script so that it always adds 1, but we don't have to do that. We could use a variable here. So I'll go back up again where we put our variables under the class, and I'm going to create a new one. This one will be public because we want to be able to set it in Unity and make every ship have a different value. It's an integer, it's a whole number, and I'm just going to call this one point value. Now when I come down here, instead of adding 1 each time, we're going to add point value. By doing that, we've made it possible that in Unity, we can click on each individual ship and give it a different point value. I'm going to make my fast ship worth 3 points and my slower ship worth 2. I'm also going to actually slow both ships down a bit because I'm not very good at my own game yet, and I want to make sure that I can actually click them in the game. Now when I play the game, I can click on my ships and you'll notice that the score goes up each time. Next time, we'll look at how to add a user interface in order to show your score on the screen. In the meanwhile, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please be sure to click like or subscribe to the channel.